this is where I get to talk about magazines and the digital side, and the idea that magazines have to be very, very magaziney, and the digital side has to be very, very digital. And if as soon as you start, and again the point was well made by earlier by Kuhn, yeah. If you start showing a digital magazine on screen as just a flippy pretend it's a magazine thing, that's just not an online magazine. That's something online trying to be a magazine, pretending to be a magazine. You've got to be honest and be, you know, a magazine's a magazine and something online is something else. First of all, though, magaziney. By magaziney, I mean playing with the format, playing with foil blocks, getting what you can out of it. I think there's, if you go back a little while, I'm sure it still happens a lot, but it's a bit less prevalent. In the digital realm, there's a tendency to well, we've got Flash, let's use it, and they use the technology to create lots and lots of moving image and just go mad with it all. And whilst at the same time in the print magazines we're all just a bit, oh no, we've got 4 colour, it's fine. Actually, we've got a lot more than just 4 colour. We can use extra colours, we can use foil block, we can use die cuts, we can use different size papers. And that's my point, is if the digital realm have all these toys to play with that are new and whatever, there's a lot of those toys and things that we can do in print that can't be done online, and I really encourage everyone to use that. Traditionally, if you put a supplement in a magazine, you glue it in, or you bind it in, or you put the two of them in a bag together. But actually, and something Monocle are very, very clever with, there are much more pleasant, tactile things that celebrate the idea of print, celebrate the idea of touch. They regularly do these supplements, and they hold them together with a rubber band, which is absolutely about celebrating the tactile nature of print. It's elastic, you can pull it, you can play with it, you can easily unattach them, you can easily put them back together again. It's practical, but it's also, it allows you to engage with touching. It emphasises the touching nature, the tangible nature of print and of paper. Foil blocks I mentioned. Sometimes people go to extremes. Bazaar a couple of years ago did a deal with Swarovski to put Swarovski crystals on their logo. Not everyone's going to be able to do that every issue, and at least all they. There was a bit of a storm around that because not many. The story was that they had these crystals, but actually I'm not sure how many issues of the magazine actually had it. But the point is, they're trying to do something. They're trying to play with it. And even in little ways, I mean, you can play with paper and effects, but you can also be realistic about what the point of your magazine is. In this case, Esquire, well, it's going to go on the newsstand, it has to sell. If you go into the newsstand, everyone's shouting, everyone's got their celebrity and their cover lines and da-da-da. But a lot of people now, you know, certainly in the UK, are trying to build the subscription element of how you provide magazines to people. The subscriber doesn't have to have all those cover lines. The subscriber can have a different picture, a smarter, cleaner thing, so that when they receive it, they can still enjoy it, but they don't have to be sold to. And that's something that's happening more and more. Elle in the UK has started doing it, so that's the one you would have bought at the station this morning on the way here. That's the one you got mailed. And it's a minor thing. That's, you know, it's much smaller than rubber bands and Swarovski crystals on the logo and whatever. But again, it's intelligently using, understanding how you're trying to communicate. It even comes down to paper now. This is a magazine. It's just recently. It's just on its 2nd issue. It's a project I was working on earlier in the year before I left John Brown. It's the John Lewis magazine. John Lewis being a big chain. They'd kill me if I said chain store. They're a big department store in the UK. Quite upmarket. It's the first time they've ever looked at investigated doing a magazine. And you might expect that to be on a certain type of paper. You'd expect it to be on a gloss paper. But we managed to work with them, and they've done it on a matte stock, which is a small thing, but it's a significant step. It's away from the norm. And it's something which, again, our friend at Monocle have done a lot of. But again, they produce most of their magazine using it, not even matte, it's uncoated, taro, I think it is, the paper, which works well for them. But then the back of each issue, there's always a big photo story. And for that story, they put it on gloss, because that's going to show the story better. So the majority of the the magazine is presented on matte paper. There's a gloss section, but even then, just on the front cover, as this picture illustrates, that it's glossy. It's very, very glossy on the front cover because you have to. That's a part of the tactile nature, is the way magazine covers, the glossiness, catch the light and catch people's attention. So if we talk about magaziney-ness, then very much Monocle, I think, is a great example of making the most out of magazines. And again, you know, there's it might appear that the three of us today have been speaking, kind of got into a corner about a month ago and all agreed to say the same things, but actually a lot of what we're saying is coinciding because there must be some truth in it. Absolutely. Because Monocle is great at doing this, and I think, you know, Tyler Brûlé has absolutely staked his belief in, as per the quote earlier, about the magazine being the magazine, and you can't beat receiving something in the post as a subscriber and looking forward to it and opening it and smelling the print, etc., etc., etc.